Ladies and gentlemen, up next we have a very interesting conversation. Moonshot, embracing a culture of continuous improvement. Kaizen for retail excellence. I'm personally really looking forward to this. As we know, the retail sector is ever growing and we found ourselves in a very rapidly evolving lane, and this is exactly what this panel discussion is going to be about. Let's get started then. To moderate this panel, join me in welcoming to the stage Ms. Jhanvi, Business Manager, Zoya Titan. Let's hear it for Ms. Jhanvi, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put our hands together. Welcome, ma'am. And our panelists for this panel, Mr. Javed, Head, Watches Retail, Titan. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Javed. Mr. Kalp, Business Partner and Franchisee, Titan. Mr. Koshi, Head Sales, CSD, Titan. And Mr. Soham, Head, Retail Operations, CaratLane Store, Kolkata, Titan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and hear it for the Titan team. The conversation is going to be about embracing a culture of continuous improvement. Over to you guys.
Good evening and welcome everyone. I would like to thank all of you for joining us today for this conversation. This conversation that is about retail excellence, and I guess all of us are here for a retail summit, and we know the importance of retail excellence. But we are going to talk about how Titan has embraced the concept of Kaizen, which is all about embracing innovation and improvement in its businesses. We have a very interesting lineup of panelists here. Combined, I guess all of us share 94 years of retail experience together. Yeah. So we have this very amazing set of panelists. Two of them are business leaders. We have two business practitioners, a partner, and somebody who practices business on ground. So I think we are in for a very interesting conversation here. So without any further ado, let's just dive in. I am Jhanvi. I head the business and marketing for the West region for Zoya. It is a luxury jewelry brand from the House of Titan, House of Tata. We have Javed, who heads the retail for Titan World, Fast Track, and Helios. We have Kalp, who has been our partner for almost 10 years now, and he has a lot of Titan retail franchisees like Tanishq, Mia, World of Titan, Helios, and I+. We have Koshi, who has been heading the sales for the CSD, which is the Defense Consumer Department. And he also comes with a experience of 20 years panning across different functions and different brands and different categories in retail. And we have Soham, who heads the retail operations for our CaratLane Calcutta stores. And he's the one who's brought in the winning Kaizen for this year. So Javed, Koshi. Yeah, Koshi is the one who's been kind of there at the initial phases of Kaizen. So Koshi, what is Kaizen? I mean, we understand it's a Japanese term, but what is it and how was it brought into retail?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Jhanvi, for having us here. Kaizen is a term, it's a Japanese term, which means body of change, which in our current context means continuous improvement. And the genesis of Kaizens in Titan can be traced back to 2003, 2004, when for the first time we had the advent of Kaizens in our one of our factories. From there, the practices were adopted into the retail setup. The moment the employees who actually did these Kaizens saw benefit, they immediately started owning it. And they started, the whole idea started proliferating. And Titan institutionalized it by, giving them a platform to upload these Kaizens. And these Kaizens were used, to, participate in a contest that Titan ran. And, the winners got a chance to be recognized and rewarded. And also, in the long run, the Kaizen were named after them. The Kaizens were named after them. So it was a big, it was a very positive transformation for people because they took small problems and created ideas and made it a big success. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the gist of the Kaizen journey in Titan. And I would want to take away from the panelists here who have a lot to share and some amazing practices.
Thank you, Koshi. So, Javed, as we see Kaizen today, it has evolved into this powerful movement within the company. I mean, there's so much excitement around it. So, what do you think has contributed to the success of Kaizen in Titan?
Well, I guess they can hear you. It's a lovely question. Thanks, Koshi, for sharing this in detail. What's Kaizen? It's traditionally been a manufacturing practice, and when I look back, this is nothing short of a beautiful story in Titan, because it's been 12 long years, to bring this practice alive in our brick and mortar stores. We are 3,000 plus stores today, 20,000 plus employees, and about 1,000 plus franchisees. Our business is run through and by the franchisee community. So when we talk about this scale, how did this come alive, this story? I think I would simply put it as, Jhanvi, as 2 E's and 2 C's. The 2 E's would be that, a company which continue to engage with the field staff, continuing to listen, because the field staff, at the store have their own versions of narrating. This is how I went about solving it. I think, like Koshi mentioned, a platform was created where people could come up and say that this was the problem on hand and this is how I went about solving it. The first E was about engaging. The second E was about empowering our people at the store teams, getting them to solve a particular problem. Some of the problems I think the store teams went about solving were strategic as well. Some of them would be as simple as very, very operational, that when I am trying to bill to a customer, I can't find the calculator. Okay, what if the calculator is in place? It's easier for me to do my job. The strategic problem could be that, my like-to-like business is dipping, and what could the store team do in order to actually generate more walk-ins at the store and more buyers? So if these were 2 E's, I think combined with 2 C's, which is about being consistent at it, I think in 12 years, Titan has been tremendously consistently doing these Kaizen Melas, where I think people would go about solving a problem, and these at a city level, state level, and at a national level. I think the person sitting there as a champ from this year, he's the Kaizen winner from our CaratLane store. He would, I think, talk about his Kaizen today. How do we go about celebrating this every year?
So much of excitement.
And
now.
I think, and every Kaizen has a face, has a person behind it. And how do we celebrate it? That's the last C I wanted to talk about. I think it's a great story, and we're very proud of it.
So I think, is it working? So I'm sure, and I have seen it, you get thousands of entries every year, thousands of Kaizens, thousands of ideas that people have bubbling inside them, they comes to you. But what are the criteria that you actually use to select the winning Kaizens?
In fact, every single Kaizen which comes in is a practice. It's not an idea. There's a difference between the two. And I think when you have this practice, I think first of all, it's for the leadership team to look at it with a lot of respect. No idea is small. But I think we still use 4 filters to look at it. Basically, the number one is in terms of ease of doing. Is this scalable across the format? Currently when I said 3,000 stores is across all my businesses in Titan. But if it was, say, a Titan I Plus, which is 950 stores, is this easily scalable across all my stores? Is this scalable across all my businesses? The other part is in terms of the cost of doing it. Everything happens. Imagine if it's a practice and it's brilliant but super expensive. Not possible. We can't do it. The third piece is in terms of finally, is it resulting in bigger impact to business, and more importantly, will it enhance consumer experience? Some of these Kaizens coming to my mind are like mind-boggling. I think we will share in some time. Thank you. Yeah. So while we speak, I think the hero is here. I think he's the person who created the Kaizen. He's the person who got the Kaizen to win this year. Why don't you share your experience, Soham?
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone. I am Soham. So I had a retail store of CaratLane in Lake Mall, Kolkata. My Kaizen idea, the name of the Kaizen is Daily Manager. So the idea came through enabling each and every sales executive in the store to become a manager for a day. So we have 6 sales executive in the store. So in a month, they get an opportunity to become a manager approximately 4 to 5 times. So this has helped us a lot. If I speak about results, we have got a consistent NPS score of 94%, which is again some 6 points above the rest of the stores. In terms of growth, if I say, we are growing by 50%, which is again 30% more than the other stores. And lastly, if I talk about leadership, so out of the 6 sales executive, we have successfully created a pipeline for 3 of them. Those are getting promoted in the coming financial year starting from April. And one is already there who has been promoted as a store manager. He is along with me in the Kaizen corner. If you visit the stall, you'll meet him as well. So in a nutshell, if I say me being a store manager, if I want to take a leave or an off, the store shouldn't suffer and the show must go on.
How amazing. It's very fascinating to understand your Kaizen. It is, it is. No wonder you want it. So a large part of our business comes from our franchisee partners. Kalp, as a partner for Titan, what does this mean to you? And in your business, how does it help you?
Thank you, Jhanvi. Now, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. If I have to simply put it, as a retail business owner with 15 plus stores, I think my ultimate goal is all my stores should operate as a well-oiled machine, right? That is only possible if I democratize store ownership and responsibilities amongst everyone in the store. I feel Kaizen is a very big lever in driving ownership and responsibilities among the store. When I talk about Kaizen, to put it simply, I look at it in 2 aspects. The first aspect being empowering the people to come up with a Kaizen. Now let's imagine a bottleneck that we are facing at a store. What we do is we tap into the collective will of all the employees at the store. We sit down and we brainstorm on how we can simplify this bottleneck in a very, very granular level, right? At a very small level. Like Javed mentioned that something as simple as keeping the calculator on the right-hand side of the person. I mean, that just enhances the customer experience by reducing the time taken in a transaction. What we do in that case is, what I do is as a business owner, my job here is to just facilitate these conversations and sort of instigate people to take risk and try out new ideas. The second aspect when it comes to Kaizen is to replicate Kaizens, all these ideas at my stores. See, somewhere in some part of the country, somebody is facing a similar problem and has come up with a solution. Now, thanks to Titan for creating this platform to share these ideas, we as business owners have access to these ideas and tangible benefits that one gets by implementing these ideas. My job here is to simply implement these ideas and gauge the tangible benefits out of this. For example, there was a beautiful Kaizen around sunglasses. RX sunglasses, it's what it's called. That was implemented at one of the stores in the East region, which we successfully implemented at one of our stores and got a 3x jump in the sales, right? So Kaizen, to be put very simply, is so fundamental to a retail
Sorry,
operation.
what was the Kaizen? Just
It's very
briefly.
simple. RX sunglasses are basically sunglasses that transition when you go into the sunlight. It starts becoming a sunglass when it's out in the open and becomes a spectacle when you are in a room. A simple idea that one of the gentlemen at the store did was he started taking out all the customers who he was attending. Let's step out, sir, in the sun, and he would make them try and see how you don't need to carry two, pair of optical frames. So yes, I mean it's so integral and so fundamental to the way a store operates. Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Well, while Jhanvi all of us have been, waxing eloquent about Kaizens and how it has helped us in our day-to-day lives. Jhanvi, you've been with the company for quite some time now, and what is your experience and how has it made a difference in your lives, especially from the retailing point of view, since you handle Zoya, which is a high-end brand of Tanishq.
So for me, Kaizen is like that atomic habit, which is very small, but incremental. And if you consistently do it, it brings about transformative results. When I first went to a Kaizen Mela, I still remember so many stores with these amazing ideas and entries. And I was just impressed. I was spellbound at the level of participation, excitement. I started thinking, in a luxury business like Zoya, how do we implement those? Because it's a very different, altogether a different structure and different format. But surprisingly, I found so many Kaizens very relevant to luxury. And I guess we are here to change the scene of how luxury retail is carried out in India. Maybe Zoya will be a pioneer just because of the Kaizens.
Truly, actually, it's a very surprising thing that luxury has also been able to take, a benefit out of this. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I think it was an enlightening discussion, a conversation. In a nutshell, it's just this small, Kaizen is a small incremental chain that brings about success, brings about amazing transformative results, and makes your way of doing business more easier and more customer-centric. So thank you all of you for being a part of this discussion, this conversation. Before all of you go, I would also like to request you to visit our stall D2, where you will see all these winning Kaizens. Our retail team members are there to explain, because they are the ones who have come up with these Kaizens and they've executed those Kaizens on ground. And with that, and if you have any questions, any observations, please feel free to leave your numbers with them, and we'll be happy to explain you further about different Kaizens and their impact. And I hope all of us and all of you will leave with some takeaway from this to how to use different Kaizens to improve the way all of us do business. Thank you so much.